Dear friends, welcome to another episode of Military Ops. In this video, we'll discuss what a diary and documents found with North Korean soldiers in Ukraine reveal about how these men are being used by Putin to reinforce his invasion. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. To understand the context of this diary and the documents, we first need to explore how North Korean soldiers ended up on the front lines of a conflict between Russia and Ukraine. In October of last year, approximately 12,000 North Korean soldiers arrived in the Kursk region of Russia. Initially, they took on logistical roles, such as digging trenches and transporting supplies, while awaiting additional training. However, this preparation seems to have been insufficient, as in recent weeks, these soldiers have been pushed into combat under precarious conditions and without adequate support. Neither Russia nor North Korea has officially confirmed this military collaboration, but drone footage captured by Ukrainian forces and field reports verify the presence of North Koreans. But what's the motivation behind this involvement? It's the practical outcome of a mutual defense pact signed between Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin. Yet despite the pomp surrounding the pact's signing, the situation for these soldiers is dire. On the battlefield, far from home and without sufficient moral or material support, they face relentless combat against enemies who are better equipped, better prepared, and, above all, more motivated as they defend their homeland against foreign aggression. This is the backdrop that adds even greater significance to the diary found among the belongings of Jong Kyung-hong, a young soldier killed in action. This document has become a vital piece for understanding both the personal experiences of these soldiers and the military tactics employed by North Koreans in this conflict. At the very beginning of the diary, the soldier writes that, even at the cost of his life, he will follow the orders of the Supreme Commander without hesitation, concluding the statement by pledging to show the world the courage and sacrifice of Kim Jong-un's special forces. Beyond expressing unwavering loyalty to the dictator, the diary reveals rudimentary and brutal tactics. One of these, illustrated with stick figure diagrams, describes how one soldier should act as bait to lure enemy drones while two others attempt to shoot it down. Another tactic involves running toward areas already hit by artillery under the assumption that those spots are unlikely to be bombarded again. These tactics reflect not only the harsh pragmatism of war, but also the severe lack of resources and technology available to these soldiers. The diary also mentions everyday events, such as celebrating the birthday of a comrade whom Yong describes as his closest companion. These human moments starkly contrast with the brutal reality of the battlefield. To understand the mindset of a North Korean soldier, it's essential to delve into the doctrine underpinning the country's entire military apparatus. From the moment they join the army, North Korean recruits are subjected to intense ideological indoctrination. They are taught that Kim Jong-un is not merely a political leader, but a divine paternal figure, fostering an almost religious bond with the dictator. Yong's diary includes multiple passages that highlight this indoctrination. He writes about the benevolent embrace of the Workers' Party and his desire to atone for past sins through battlefield sacrifice. This deeply ingrained belief helps explain why many soldiers prefer death over capture by Ukrainian forces. This loyalty to ideology is reinforced through daily rituals and the photographic memorization of Kim Jong-un's speeches. Jong quotes entire sections of one speech, committed to memory word for word. This mental training not only solidifies the soldiers' commitment, but also creates a symbolic link between their survival and the regime's survival. Ryu Seong-ron, a young defector from the North Korean military now living in South Korea, commented that the doctrine completely erases the concept of individuality. According to his testimony, the idea of surrender or self-preservation simply doesn't exist, as their entire existence is devoted to the communist regime. On the battlefield, the ideological doctrine of North Korean soldiers collides harshly with military reality. Despite their fanatical loyalty and willingness to carry out suicidal orders, their lack of proper training and equipment takes a severe toll. It's estimated that over 4,000 North Korean soldiers have been killed or wounded since December, highlighting the ineffectiveness of their tactics. One such tactic, known as human waves, involves sending large groups of soldiers to attack simultaneously. This strategy, reminiscent of the Korean War, may yield temporary advances but is devastating in terms of human losses. Drone footage has shown soldiers crossing open fields without any cover, making them easy targets for Ukrainian forces. Additionally, the lack of integration with Russian troops exacerbates the situation, as North Korean soldiers often find themselves isolated without logistical support or effective communication. Many were sent to the front lines with false identities and only basic Russian language training, further highlighting the inefficiency of this military collaboration. For the soldiers on the ground, this translates into a desperate situation. They face not only the constant threat of death, but also complete dehumanization, reduced to disposable pawns in a larger conflict. This is evident in scenes of visibly confused and terrified soldiers struggling to cope with the advances of Ukrainian forces. The presence of North Korean soldiers in Ukraine is not just a curious fact, it is a symbol of the growing alliances between authoritarian regimes. For North Korea, sending troops to Russia may be a way to secure economic and diplomatic support. For Russia, these soldiers are a disposable workforce in a conflict that demands constant human resources. However, this also raises profound ethical questions. To what extent can a government sacrifice its young people in the name of alliances or ideologies? And how should the international community respond to such alliances that blatantly disregard humanitarian norms? The Diary of Jong Kyung-hong is a stark portrayal of the human cost of war, exacerbated by radical ideologies and opportunistic alliances between dictatorships. His story challenges us to reflect on the motivations driving modern conflicts and the role of individuals, often reduced to mere pieces in a far larger game of power. Stay updated with military news and developments by subscribing to the channel, leaving a comment, and see you in the next video.